Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Good, Matthew. Yourself?
I'm very well, thanks. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter.com/Jeff_Erickson as we talk a little fantasy baseball today. Jeff, some interesting drama today. Blue Jays come from behind and win. Red Sox come from behind and win. Fantasy-wise, in terms of, let's start with the Red Sox game, only 6 saves coming into the game. What did you like or not like so far this season about Chris Perez, the closer of the Indians?
Well, he's been bothered by the shoulder. It started actually in spring training. He was shut down for a while in spring training, if you recall. And, shoulder injuries are always a red flag when we deal with pitchers, and it seems like this hasn't gone away. Maybe it's something he was trying to pitch through for a while. It's coming back to haunt him. So, the last pitch before he was taken out, you could see him grimacing pretty noticeably in pain. I'd be surprised if he's not on the DL tomorrow. Unfortunately, fantasy owners sometimes have to make that move tonight without relying on that, but I do think the DL trip is in order for him.
All right, going to talk some fantasy baseball here with Jeff Erickson from RotoWire.com. Jeff, nice day today from JP Arancibia, the catcher of the Toronto Blue Jays. 3 for 4 today, including a couple of runs scored, a walk, an RBI. He's got the average up to 236. He's a guy notoriously who doesn't hit 250 on the season, much below it usually. Does he have that capability of hitting 250, 270, 280?
I doubt 280. He strikes out too much for that, and he doesn't walk much today. I think it was his third walk, if I'm not mistaken. But you know what? There's still a lot of value in that bat because he's got so much power, and that's the thing I like out of him. So, he's not a perfect ball player, but he in this lineup, in this ballpark, they're just yet another threat, and just going up and down that order, a lot of power threats there.
All right, another guy who's not a threat right now, Brett Lawrie, 199 on the year, 0 for 3 today. What is the upside? People have been hearing about him. He's Canadian. That's great. But, Jeff, is he off track here? What's going on?
I still think patience is the order of the day. It's frustrating, though. We saw what he did when he first got called up.
Yeah.
And I think that set this, whole expectation level so high that it's been pretty impossible for him to achieve. But that's creating an excuse for him too, because the fact is he has underachieved considerably. I think he needs just an accumulation of at bats. I think he needs to kind of dial it down just a little bit. Kind of got into a little blow up in the 9th inning there tonight. Watch out for that a little bit there. The temper is definitely a problem.
All right, Jeff Erickson joining us here on Game Points with Matthew Ross. We're talking some fantasy baseball here on the program. Jeff, your Reds take it on the chin today, or it's a tough one, 5-4 in 10 innings to the Chicago Cubs, but still very good start to the year. 31-19 are those Cincinnati Reds. Johnny Cueto, pretty good start though today in the loss. 7 innings, 1 earned run, couple of strikeouts, couple of walks. Your thoughts on him so far this year? As his ERA now sitting at 2.76.
He's been fantastic. Now, the only concern with him is health now, and that, because of his delivery, Cincinnati Inquirer talked about this. He's got that Louis Tiant-like twist motion, causes him maybe to strain that oblique a little bit. That's something they're going to explore in the offseason. For now, they'll keep it the same. But it doesn't look like, if there's anything wrong with his performance. Today was a weird day just because Aroldis Chapman wasn't available, and that set across a chain of events where the Reds kept on pitching their worst pitchers in key spots. They got burned by Logan Andrusik and Manny Parra and J.J. Hoover. They didn't use Sam LeCure. They didn't use Jonathan Broxton. They didn't use Chapman. And even one of the lesser teams in baseball, the Cubs, were able to take advantage of that.
All right, elsewhere in Major League Baseball, well, first we'll stick with this game just for a little bit here, Jeff. Starlin Castro had a pretty decent day at the plate today. He had a double off of Johnny Cueto earlier in the game. Where do you assess him right now, fantasy-wise, among the great shortstops?
He's in the top 5, but he's been a little disappointing because he just hasn't hit for the power just yet. We got to remember though, the guy's still so young. He came up at such a young age. We think he's been around for a while, but he's only 23 years old. So plenty of room for him to grow in terms of hitting his power stride still. I think we just have to be patient. You're going to get the high batting average from him over the course of a full season, though.
Jeff, I know he's got 12 home runs now on the season, but it's really hard to see a cleanup hitter hitting 159. We know he strikes out a ton, too. Adam Dunn is hitting 159 for the White Sox. How can they continue to play him?
Well, it's funny because 2/3 of those homers have happened like the last few weeks. It was even a more miserable start at the beginning of the year. They're kind of they have to wear it right now. They got that contract. they really don't have that many better alternatives. That's the sad part. They're going to be able to. He's such a bad hitter for average that even from a fantasy perspective, I mean, how important are those homers to you? I mean, you really know that what you're getting into with him.
Jeff, in Houston today, the Astros lose. No shocker there, but they lose to the Oakland Athletics, who are now 5 games over 500. Very streaky team so far this year, up and down and up and down. Mm-hmm. Former Expo, Bartolo Colon, getting the win today, amazingly. Now 5-2 on the year, 9 strikeouts in 7 innings today, no earned runs. Is this all about how bad the Houston Astros are, or can you maybe rely every now and then on a quality start from this guy?
No, the strikeouts are going to come. But, funny thing is, he is an extreme strike thrower now these days. I think I saw today he had 62 out of his 80 pitches at one point were for strikes. There was a game last year, I think, against the Angels where he threw 27 consecutive strikes.
Wow.
So it's amazing kind of watching him. He's not going to blow you away, but he's always in around the zone, and that has value. And his home games are always in that big, spacious park in Oakland. You can use him in his home starts there.
Jeff, tell me about the guy who bats right behind Andrew McCutchen in Pittsburgh as the Pirates improve now to 31-19. Maybe this is the year that they finish over 500. Garrett Jones, right fielder.
Good power, not the greatest base run, but enough to get it done. The thing about the Pirates as a whole, I did a radio interview with one of my Pittsburgh affiliates that I talk to a lot, and they're asking the question, if at the trade deadline, the Pirates are still where they're at, they're still contending, mm-hmm. do they trade either Garrett Cole or Jamison Talion on their top 2 prospects for like a Cliff Lee? It's a tough call because normally you would say no right away for such an elite prospect. But when you're Pittsburgh, you haven't had a winning season in 18 years, man, it's tough to say no to that. I think they have to have a legit chance to get into the playoffs and not just have above 500 record. If that's the case, then you kind of have to think about it at least, don't you?
You do. Yeah, you have to. Jeff, I'm amazed. I'm blown away. I can't even believe it. But Bruce Chen, I'm looking at a box score. Kansas City and the Angels. He pitched today. He's still in Major League Baseball. 2 blown saves now on the year. His ERA is 1.76. Just for Expo fans, because he did pitch here in Montreal. Is he a lefty specialist at this point?
Kind of a mid-innings guy. Sometimes he goes in a long relief that the starter blows up. He actually signed a 2-year deal before last season because he had come off in a reasonable starting campaign for the Royals, which explains the Royals in a nutshell right now. If Bruce Chen can get contract security. He had finished his complete tour of the NL East. I think he had pitched for like 4 of the 5 AL East teams. Now he's going through the Central divisions.
Jeff, elsewhere in San Francisco today, the Giants, the champs, they get a win over Colorado. Very nice win indeed, obviously, with those 2 teams battling for a division. Giants now 1 game ahead of Colorado. And a guy still has an ERA of 5, does get a win, is 4th on the year. Matt Cain, what's your assessment now of him?
He's still battling. He had like 100 pitches through 5 innings today. He's not quite got all of his good stuff there. I'm a little concerned, but that ballpark cures a lot of ills. So, and he's on a good team too, so he's going to generally get good run support. Although it's funny, this year defense has been a big problem for the Giants. That they've had a lot of miscues defensively, so you can't necessarily count on that. But still a pretty reasonable buy low candidate, I think.
All right, and a guy that really was in the limelight earlier in his career, got the loss today. Not a bad start at all. Didn't pitch all of last year. John Garland, not a bad start today in the loss.
No, but you really can't use him because his home starts in Coors Field, so then you're only looking at a guy that's a road start only guy. Has to be a pretty dire situation for you to use him in your fantasy contacts. But he's your quintessential league average pitcher, which the Rockies they could use.
He is Jeff Erickson. The website is rotowire.com. Check out Jeff on twitter.com/Jeff_Erickson. And Jeff, I don't know if you're watching it, but Kings Sharks coming up in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a great series. The West has been providing the drama here, the East not so much. But you know what? Yeah, looking forward to this tonight, although I'll have an eye on my Pacers, too. I grew up in Indianapolis, so got to root for the Pacers.
Well,
and then,
I'm a Heat hater as a Celtics fan, so go ahead.
Okay, that's good. We're Wonder Twins powers unite there. And then, then Red Wings Blackhawks has been an amazing series, too. So a lot of good stuff going on still.
You and I can bond over Larry Bird, maybe.
There you go.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Okay. All right, thanks a lot, Jeff.
All right, Matthew, take care.